So if you see
My
me
eyes
cleaning
are a
my
little
eyes today,
watery.
oh, I could use some of
I know.
that. But yeah, excited to podcast.
We have a lot of really good news this week. This is like
Yeah,
what we've been waiting for the past
3
4
months.
years.
Oh, 4 years. Well, that for sure, but definitely the last 2 or 3 months, it's been pretty dry over here.
Donnie, I have been waiting for this day that we have something real to talk about the
That's
Switch
it.
2, something tangible.
It's here. It's very exciting because, like, when I saw the tweet, obviously I was just like, I filled with like that newfound enthusiasm. It's like, oh, here we go. Like we knew it was
Mhm.
happening. We all knew it was going to happen. We thought it was going to happen last year, perhaps the year before, but like
This is
it is
real.
inevitable. But when it happens, you're like, and we're off.
Yep.
And it's like, and I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm like, oh, there's going to be so many leaks, so many rumors, so many falsifications. Um, yeah, yeah,
It's coming. It's
it's
happening.
coming. It's all happening.
We have all of those things today.
We do. We didn't have to wait very long.
We'll probably have some every week. Before we get started on the news, what have you been up to? I see you've been bouncing across many games. Tell me about those many games. Then I'll tell
That's
you about
true.
mine.
So I love controllers,
I know you do.
right? And I have not bought like a new Switch controller in some time, mostly because of like, why would I buy a new controller for the Switch? Like there's a new one coming, right?
Well,
I bought those Joy-Cons. Guess you could count those, but those are like
yeah.
Joy-Cons. Like I just wanted better Pro Joy-Cons. And then we had all this rumors that seemingly confirms that hi Frisk. It seemingly confirms that our controllers will be able to go with us.
I
That
think that makes
everything's gonna
sense.
be able to backwards compatible.
Yeah.
So I took that as the only evidence that needed, not even waiting for confirmation, to go ahead and buy a new controller. And I have bought the Nixie Pro Warrior controller, the GameCube
Oh.
style wireless controller, and I'm very happy with the purchase 1 week in on so far for one reason only. I love the GameCube controller. I love the face buttons. It's a great controller for me. This controller has that heft feeling, that dense feeling that I love a controller to have. Like to me,
Yeah.
this is
Has
this
some
is
weight to
this
it.
this is the Switch's elite controller. Like this is what this feels like when you hold it. Like it's not hollow, it's not just air and plastic. Like it does have some weight to it. All of the buttons are mechanical, so they've got like the little electro switchy mouse click
Does it
sounds.
have the squishy triggers?
Eh,
Like
yeah,
mushy or
but
is it clicky?
I mean it's clicky, but
It
I think
sounds clicky.
it's clicky because it's hitting the back part of the controller. Like if I don't hit
Yeah, but
if I
it's
don't
not like GameCube mushy.
yeah, no, it's not like GameCube, but it's fine. Like I like it. Um I've been playing games with it all week. Like when I got it, honestly, I got it on a whim and I was just like, I like the GameCube style controller. It does I want to talk about, I mean, it does have replaceable sticks. You can take the sticks off, you can take the rings off. It does have the thing where you can stop the controller. So if you don't want it to go all the way down, you can do that. You can control that. It's got
Oh.
back paddles you can program, you can take them off. So it is like an elite controller kind of
Who
in a lot
makes
of
it?
ways. Nixie, Nyxi. I call him Nixie. I think other people just say the letters. I don't know how to pronounce it, but they're the same folks that make the GameCube Joy-Cons that I have. So I have like a
Yeah.
matching pair of the controller and the Joy-Cons. And so once I got it, I just started playing like a bunch of GameCube games on Switch. Like I played like
Nice.
Cell Damage and Metroid Prime. I played
Yeah.
Sunshine.
That's what it's meant for.
I rolled Resident Evil for a couple hours the other night. Like I just kind of was like, I'm in the mood to
If
play.
only you had Wind Waker to play.
I know. Like, yes, I know. That's not lost on me. Um, it's really nice. It's $60. I paid $60 for it. Maybe it might be like $65, $64, something like that, with tax and everything. But like, it's not like it's not an expensive controller. It's definitely not like 120, crazy edge or elite type of controller. But yeah, I'm liking it a lot. It paired right out of the
It's a little
box, and
cheaper than a pro controller.
yeah, I like it's just the weight. For me, right? Every hand is different, right? So everybody probably has a preference, but for me, I've always loved the GameCube controller. It fits like it's the perfect feeling in the hand,
Yeah.
and this has the weight that I'm looking for that like the Power A ones and the other ones don't, and I don't know what it is. It is since I've held like an Xbox Elite controller, I'm addicted to that weight, that feeling. I like having that feeling in my hand. So I've been playing a lot of that, and when I wasn't playing those games, I have been playing Hyrule Warriors
Ooh, really?
because I've been
On
feeling that.
Switch, like the
Yeah,
Switch Deluxe version.
yeah, of course, the best version.
Yeah.
It got a nice glow up when it came over to Switch from 3DS and Wii U. It's much
I never
brighter,
got it on
runs
Switch, I
better,
only played it on Wii U.
and it's a fine way to play it. It is improved, like pretty.
Yeah.
It's a big improvement on Switch, the experience. And I've been having that Zelda itch. We talked about it for a while now. It's like, man, I want to play something Zelda. I eternally keep kicking the Wind Waker can down the road with the hopes that I can play it on my OLED. And I wanted to play something, and I just came across the tile, and I was like, yeah, let's play Hyrule Warriors. Like that'll scratch that itch. I haven't, I can go in there and just smash around. So I probably played, I don't know, 8 or 9 levels of it. I've played a few hours of it this week. I really like playing the Sheik. Sheik's powers are really fun. I don't like playing as Zant. I do like playing as Ganon. Ganon's a nice, fun power trip. But most of the time, if I can play as Link, I will play as Link. But a lot of the courses have predetermined characters,
Right,
unless you
right, where
play
you
in
have to
free mode.
play it as that character.
Yeah, yeah, for the story. Link was fun. I like that they did that. Like it's such a I love that game. I loved it when it came out. It's such a zany. It's like they took that Hyrule compendium and just like made a game out of it and threw their own stuff in it too.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
very, like, for the fans type of game.
yeah, tons of fan service everywhere.
Um, I feel like I owe that game another playthrough. I played the whole thing in co-op when I was in college, and, like, I don't really remember it too much.
Hmm.
So I think, obviously, if I replay it, I would get the Switch version. I wonder if it goes on sale.
I have
Been
never
long
thought
enough.
I've never thought of looking at the price of it
Let me
since
look.
I beat it. I mean, since I bought it. Like I bought
Yeah,
this
yeah.
when it launched, and I've never looked at the price since. I don't know what it goes for. I couldn't say. Um, I want to like get the weeb thing in there. I love Sia a lot and her outfits. She provides a great amount of
It
entertainment to the
looks like
Zelda
once
franchise.
a year it goes on sale digitally, on the eShop for $41.99.
I was
The
just about to say
physical
that.
never goes on sale, but I would need to get the physical for my collection.
Yeah.
It literally has not the physical has not been on sale since 2021
I think it's worth it. I
for
do. Even if you
$60.
have the Wii version,
Yeah.
like the Switch version, I mean the Wii U version kind of has like it's like kind of dark, right? And when you see them in side by side, it's abundantly clear that like the sharp way up. And it runs. I think it is just fun, mindless. I like the Warriors games though. A lot of people don't. I like the Muso games, and I think Zelda was a great fit for it.
Yeah, I
Fan service is fun. I love like hopping like through time portals and getting to different eras of Zelda adventures and like linking up with everybody together. Like Calamity was fun, and I do like Calamity. I don't like it nearly as much as Hyrule Warriors because that amount of fan service wasn't there. Like they really went out
yeah,
of their way to like when you get the Master Sword, like they make it an event.
yeah.
And the story is crazy and the bosses you fight are crazy. It's just very epic.
I might
In a
replay
way
it.
that you want a Warriors game to be, like
Yeah.
that's what you're looking for. And there's a lot of collectibles too. Like if you're trying to get all of the victory conditions and collect all of the sculptulas and all of the stuff, there's a lot of replay value there too. I don't know. I wanted to play something Zelda, and I just didn't want to start a new Zelda game. So this was a nice compromise.
The way that it is not even available to buy physically on Amazon.
Really? Wow. Yeah, I could imagine it. I could see it being like kind of short run. Maybe they didn't think it would sell a whole lot.
You can get it for 71.94 on Amazon.
I'm sure you can get it cheaper on eBay. Surely there's like
Yeah.
some people that
Yeah,
bought it
that's
on
true.
eBay
That
that
is
don't want it,
true.
you know.
Good point. Good point. Forgot about
But
eBay for a hot
it
second.
has all of the DLC included.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, see,
has
I never got any of the DLC.
it has all of the 3DS stuff in, because you remember the 3DS version and the Wii U version had like their own
Yeah.
kind of stuff. It has everything all wrapped up together in one. So yeah. I did a
49.
quick look.
Yeah, I'm looking. 49, I'm seeing.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's not as cheap as I would have expected it to be. Calamity is cheaper. Well, that just goes to show you how great the game is. I'm seeing a cartridge with no case or anything for $47.50.
I'm seeing a
Oof.
box with no games. This is new listing. Are you seeing this one? 49 or best offer, free shipping.
And it is fun. You get to play as all these characters. You play as the villains, and you get to play Zelda, right? As everybody, for a long standing, always wanted Zelda as a playable character, and you can do that in this game. And there's Linkle and stuff like that. It's fun.
Yeah.
Garden says, "I see one for $94. Does that help you?"
Oh, thanks. Thank you for that.
So yeah, that's what I was doing last night before we wife and I sat down and watch movies. And I'll probably play a little bit more today before we start doing more Mother's Day things.
Nice. I kind of want to buy this now. Should I do it?
I mean, I'm not the best person if you're asking, like, because if I buy stuff all the time, so like my answer is going to be yes. It may not be the most healthy enabler. Like, I'm going to enable you to buy awesome video games for sure. Buying games is fun themselves. I bought like 16 games the other night for no reason, just because they were on sale. I was like, yep, I'm going to add these to you. I don't even know if I'll ever play them. It's half the fun. It'll look good on your Zelda shelf.
I know.
I mean, what kind of Zelda fan are you if you don't have Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, right? You know what I'm
Like
saying?
a normal one? Wait, hold on. I have to log into PayPal.
Because like, all right, this is happening. So
Well, I don't know.
yeah,
That listing might not be there. It's cheaper than the rest of
it
them.
may not make it to the rest of the show.
It might not.
You
You
have
don't
other
know.
people in
I
the
mean,
show. They're looking
I
at
know
it
they're
too.
listening and they're
They're
competing
searching
against me.
They're fine. I hope Yarden gets it.
Oh,
Like,
Jesus Christ, Yarden.
Yarden's like, how much is it worth to you?
Anyway, anything else you've been playing that you would like to talk about?
Not really. No.
I have been playing Little Kitty, Big City.
Yes.
The indie game that just came out along with lots of other games, indie games a couple days ago this week. I was sent a key to this game by the publisher. This is a game that has been on my radar for quite a while now. It originally, I feel like when the trailer started coming out, people were like, this is a more cartoony version of Stray. So that obviously got my attention, but it's not really like Stray at all. Like it shares like some of the DNA and like the mechanics of what you can do, but
So I thought it was like Goose Game.
it is very much like Untitled Goose Game. That is exactly what it is. You start as this little house cat that is like sitting on the balcony or like on the window ledge or something and does like a big stretch and tumbles out, onto the city streets. And you're okay. You don't get hurt. There's no kitty getting hurt or dying in this game. There's no way to hurt the kitty.
Well,
So
cats don't have fall damage. We know that.
yeah, there's no no fall damage.
Yeah.
And so you have to figure out how to get back home. And like you're a little house cat, you don't really have any skills. Like you can't climb very high. You can't jump very far, but you can build those skills up as you go along. Like you can eat fish too. Have you played a short hike where like you get those
Mhm.
feathers and it helps you
Yep.
fly a little bit higher for each feather that you get? You can eat fish, and for each fish that you find, you can like climb a little bit higher. So you're going around, you meet lots of other animals, like you meet like a crow, you meet some other cats, you meet a tanuki,
You say you meet them, it's like, do they have dialogue and stuff? Are
They
they
do, they
characters?
do.
Okay.
They have dialogue, they're characters, and they like, "Will help you, little kitty, but, like, I kinda have a problem of my own, like, you gotta help me out with this, and I'll help you out with that." And so, like, you're kinda doing little tasks for them, like, you might have to bring them something, or you might have to, like, solve the problem, like, you meet a duck, and, all of, like, his children, little ducklings have, like, scattered away, and so
Oh,
you have to go
no.
track them down, and, like, none of the ducklings wanna come with you because, like, one of them's in an arcade, it's playing Street Fighter, and it's like, "No, no, I'm not gonna come with you,
I'm
like,
good.
until this game is over." So, like, you have to figure out a way to, like, unplug or, like, disconnect the game to get him to come with you. So, like, you round up all the ducklings, you gotta go, like, help the tanuki out of the trash can because he's stuck. Um, the characters are really cute. There's, like, a lot of like, they could talk a little bit less, some of them, because I feel like they talk for a long time. But, I know one of the things that people did not like about Stray was that, like, when you, like, jumped up onto things, like, there was only, like, a specific point where, like, you could jump up onto,
Yeah.
like, there wasn't, like, you couldn't, like, fall really.
Yeah.
With this one, like, you hold down the B button to do precision jumps, and, like, it shows little paw prints of, like, where you're gonna land, and you can move that around. So, like, you can jump, like, wherever you want. Um, so it's really cute. Like it's not like a super long game, but like I'm taking my time through it. Like I've been playing it for a couple of hours. There's achievements. There is like little hats that you can unlock that you can put, like have your cat wear. Like these little cute, like you can wear like an apple hat or like a frog hat. It's so cute. There's a meow button so you can meow. Oh, and then the people, I haven't even mentioned the people. Like some people will come over and try to like pet you and you can like nuzzle them. Or when people are like walking on the city street, some of them are like looking at their phone, some of them are holding like a sandwich. You can like go between their legs and trip them and then they'll drop what they're holding. So like in one
Mm.
of the quests, like you need to get like a new cell phone for one of the characters. So like you can trip somebody and like steal their phone and run away with it.
Goose
And
Game.
they get like so mad and they'll chase you. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is like Goose Game. In fact, I think there's a couple of the puzzles that are really similar to that. Like I remember in Goose Game, there was like a gardener and you had to like turn off the water or something to make him go back into the one part to turn it on so that you could sneak into the house or something or the
Yeah.
shed. Um that exact puzzle is in this game. So like it's very sandboxy, like, trial and error type of things. There was one part where like I really needed to get to something that was in the grocery store or like the produce stores, like a little bodega. And I just kept running. The person who ran the bodega kept seeing me and picking me up and carrying me out of the store. And it was very hard to like do what I needed to do in there. So I had to get creative with how I was approaching it. There are a considerable number of like glitchiness things in it. But like not in a bad way. Like it feels like one of those sandbox games where like some of the glitching can be kind of funny.
Yeah.
They said they're coming with a patch though. They know about a lot of the bugs. Um, only one of the bugs has like sort of negative affected me so far was one of the dog's bones that you're supposed to put in its bowl like glitched away because I want to play Animal Well. Have you seen that game? It's like getting rave reviews.
Yeah, I'm not sure if, I talked about it on our show for a couple weeks. I kept talking about, like, people are excited for it, and I've
Yeah.
noticed on the May recap, like, I've been hearing about this game for some time. I
Yeah.
knew that, like, industry folks were excited for it, but I hadn't seen, like, anybody in the Discord really get excited for it yet. I'm
It
not
has like a
planning to.
96 on Metacritic.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be like this year's indie darling. I'm not
Yeah.
currently planning on playing it because the reviews and the quick reacts, it really just doesn't sound like a game that I would enjoy, I don't
That's
think.
okay.
Right, but I am eager to hear from people that more people that are enjoying it, 'cause almost everybody that I've listened to talk about it, overwhelmingly loves it. I think maybe with the exception of Jeff, where Jeff is just kind of like, "Yeah, I like it, but I'm not, like, infatuated with." Most people are fixated on it.
Yeah.
like the greatest game in years to them, if not more. Like they love it
Yeah. I know,
wholeheartedly.
I wanna see what all the buzz is about.
It's the short pitch for me that's like it's a Metroidvania. I'm like, okay, and then they're like,
Yeah.
that doesn't have any like guidance at all, and you just walk around and figure your way through. And I'm like, oh, I don't know about all
Yeah, I
that.
know,
Like,
you don't like that.
it's not really my favorite thing to do. And they're like, and you encounter characters and you don't know if they're good or bad until you figure it out. And I'm like,
And there's, like, you don't fight, right? Like, it's
yeah,
like,
like the whole
you run, but you don't fight.
trial and error Metroidvania is just not my gig. It's almost like the elevator pitch doesn't really do much for me at face level, but the visual style looks incredible. And I wanted to say, I don't know if this to be true. I do love that. I love the visual style. And I will, just because of like the rave reviews at some point, like when it goes on sale, I'll probably give it a try. If it comes to Game Pass or something, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll give it a try. Just I'm not expecting it to be my sort of jam.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it sounds like
Um,
yours.
Crow Country too, that should be on your radar.
That sounds like my jam, and it
Yeah.
is on my Steam wish list for sure. And I haven't bought it or played it yet because I think it's gonna be in the direct. Like, that's one that I think they're holding for the direct.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe.
so, yeah,
Maybe
I
I'll
do
wait for
wanna
that too.
I wanna play that one up, and that is the only reason I'm playing Hyrule Warriors and not Crow Country right now
Right.
is twofold. Hellblade and Paper Mario are coming soon, and the moment I realized Crow Country wasn't on Switch, I was like, "Okay, so it's in the direct then?" Like like, there why? Why would you make this game and not put it on Switch?
Yeah.
So I think it's coming to Switch, and I'm happy to wait.
Yeah, that definitely looks like it's up your alley. I was watching Mike Minotti play some of it the other day. Um, I don't know if that's my type of game, but it looks good, and, like, I might fall into the hype for that one too, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna love
All
that
3
one.
of those came out on the same
Last week?
day, on May 9th. Like, that was such a
Yeah.
big day for indies, and a couple
Yeah.
others too.
Yeah, they all got really good reviews. Like, there's, like, 4 or 5 games that came out. They're all,
Yeah.
like, reviewed at least 80 or above. Yep.
I feel like we're in an indie renaissance right now. Like, you and I and, a lot of others in our little bubble have been on the indie train for a long time, but I feel like others are finally like they're becoming like in the wake of all of this AAA industry madness that's happening right
That's
now. I
that's it. I
feel
mean,
like
that's why.
this is the indie renaissance that we've been
If
waiting
the
for.
if the mega publishers aren't going to fund these projects, and the only way to get them, especially as they shed talent and they cut jobs and lay off people and close studios, then those people they either take a job at one of the big wigs, making trees or something, or they go indie. And I think more and more people are going indie. Especially like we've seen several of the people that during consolidation, they've just left to create their own, to go do their own stuff you
Yeah.
know? So I think we're gonna get more of that. It is the new at some point, we have to talk about, like, the difference between indie and all that, because the indie is just like the new double A development,
Listen,
you
I
know?
heard somebody try to tell me yesterday that Hades is not really an indie game. And I wanna know, like, if I'm stupid for thinking it is, like, unequivocally an indie game.
I wonder who do they have, like, a big publisher or something?
No! They're self-published.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, I think Supergiant is, you know now they have a lot more money to work with than most indies, but they are still very much independent.
The amount of money that you have does not mean you're not an indie.
Right, of course. It just means you're independent. You're not seeking, secondary source. Now, a lot of labels are propped up by, venture capital from Tencent or EA. Like EA has their indie program, or they, like with the Tales of Kinzera, like they help publish that one.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, there's
Well, I
differences,
feel like
but
there are some of them that might be questionable, but Hades to me is not one of them.
yeah, I think ultimately, I think the games that we call indie, I think are just becoming games. Like they are like the middle market. They are filling in the void. They are just games now.
Yeah.
There's like big AAA games, and then there's games, and then there's like mobile games, and that's kind of like the thread that I think is being
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. Anything else before we jump into this big week of news?
No, I'm excited. Ready to do it?
Alright. Yeah, so, do you wanna take the news, or do you want me to take the news?
I'll do it. Nintendo
Okay.
World Championships NES Edition has been announced, coming to Switch this July. The game will be released on July 18th. It'll cost $30 digitally. There's a challenges mode that features 150 curated challenges to complete. There's a world championship mode. Will feature weekly rotating challenges with some online leaderboards. There's a party mode where you can play up to 8-player local multiplayer. It features NES franchises from Balloon Fight, Donkey Kong, Excite Bike, Ice Climbers, Kid Icarus, Kirby's Adventure, Metroid, Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Bros. 3, and The Lost Levels, The Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2, and I think even more. There's a physical deluxe edition of the set that comes with a physical cartridge, 5 collectible pins, 13 art cards and the gold cartridge from the 1990 championships. That is full price, right? $60.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't write the price down, and I was thinking maybe they
It was
cost
60.
more. I
Yeah.
thought it was 60. We talked
We
about this
had
last
this
week. The
I was gonna
rumors.
say this Pioro in Pioro we trust. I think that I would have preferred this to be another Nintendo World Championships event than a game.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you were talking about that. Did you see the commercial?
I did. It was a very good trailer for it. It
It
was very
was. It
good.
was a cute
Yeah.
commercial. They had all the different people that have done it before and the all past champions and stuff. That was kind of neat. I mean, I think this is Nintendo at their best. They find a way to make products out of, like, they are literally selling us the NES games that they've already made us subscribe to. They're just
Not
gonna
even the
sell it
full
to us
games. Not even the full
again,
games.
just
It's
little
like,
bits of
yeah,
it. Yeah, bits and bloops. I'm not buying it. I was when we first started hearing about it and got the summary and everything, I was like, okay, maybe this is a way to rebrand NES Remix, and it's not. This is way more for, like, the speed run folks, leaderboard folks that
mhm.
grew up with that, tap into that nostalgia, and I do think it looks good. I'm not definitely not tossing a stone at it all. I think it looks great in terms of the production quality and like the menus and the overlays and stuff. It looks very nice. I just don't care too much about NES games, and I don't care about being
Yeah.
third on the leaderboard at the Zelda 2 or whatever, like, it just doesn't do much for me in that regard. I have these games. I could play these games at any moment. So,
Yeah, so I was at work when this dropped and I saw the collector's edition and I saw the gold replica cartridge and all
yeah,
the
it's
other
that
little goodies that come
cartridge.
with it.
They know what they're
And
doing.
I bit and I pre-ordered that. And for every day that goes by, I feel like I'm having more and more buyer's remorse. And I
You
I
gotta watch The
feel like
Wizard. It'll get you back in. You'll keep it.
I've seen it. I know, I know. Every day that goes by, I feel like I get a little bit closer to canceling the pre-order, because I don't I feel like I would enjoy this game more if it had online multiplayer. If I could,
Sure.
hook up with my friends and we could go through the challenges and,
It's surprising it
compete
doesn't.
against each other. Like, what the local multiplayer is, it should have online. Why does Nintendo always miss this part? I also feel like there's not a lot of games.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the challenges are like what, like 30 seconds a piece?
Yeah.
So it's like a couple hours. You have to, like, go through those. And then it is the multiplayer and it's the leaderboards. Leaderboards is like, that's the thing, is the speed running
Now
the leaderboards, I think, is like the real hook here.
Yeah, and, I'm not gonna get any
Same. Yeah.
uh, here's my question for you, Donnie. It's called Nintendo World Champions Edition. Does
Yep.
that imply the
Yes.
existence of an SNES edition?
Yep. I think so. I do think we'll
So,
get.
are you saying that I should cancel this or pre-order
I'm
and
not saying
wait
anything.
because I don't care about NES games.
Part of me wants to
I
say that
care about SNES
part
games.
of me wants to say that if it's just about the cartridge, like the physical stuff, if you just wait like 6, 8 months, like, you'll buy that separately. Right? Like, I think somebody will probably let go of those at some point.
Oh,
Do you
they're
think?
already people are putting their listings on eBay for, like,
Yeah, but that's
$300.
until it launches. Like, it's still, you can still pre-order this. I don't know. Maybe I'm not in the loop. I
I don't
feel like this is gonna be a
I should
thing
cancel it.
that's gonna be widely available. I don't think this is gonna be the rare, hard to find value boosts forever, collector's item, but maybe I'm wrong.
I'm
I
gonna
think they're gonna
cancel
make
it.
like 5 million of these, and everybody's
Like
gonna try
the
to they're gonna try to scalp them, and then they're gonna be everywhere, and the prices are gonna fall, and, like, these will just be, sitting in GameStop, a couple
like the
years.
Nintendo Minis.
Yeah. So I don't. Yeah, that was my take. If you're just wanting that cartridge, I think there are other ways of getting the cartridge.
Like, do I even want it that badly?
See, in my head, I was like, maybe they'll put this on sale for like $20 or $15 digitally, and like I might get it then just to have it. But like I'm never gonna play this game. Like this was one of the few times that Nintendo has made a nostalgia play, and this isn't the NES talking because I have the NES Classic and love it. This is one of the few nostalgia plays that Nintendo's made where I felt so completely indifferent and unmoved. Like I looked at it, I saw it, and I was like, "That's cool," and I never even thought about purchasing
I
it.
want the pins.
No, so those could be pretty rare because I could
I
see
know.
the reason is because there are pin collectors.
I know.
That's the thing, yeah. I don't know if there's, fake cartridge collectors, but there are pen collectors.
I'm gonna cancel it. Should
Well,
I cancel it?
I don't want to weigh in on that because there was something in you that wanted it when you pre-ordered it.
Yeah, FOMO.
Well, then cancel. If it's just that, then cancel. But I get it. But yeah, I wasn't very moved by this, which is interesting because a lot of people were, for all the hell that I give Delvin and Dev about their what I call their fake NES love. It's still real. People love the shit out of that console. Like that is their childhood. It's not mine. So
Okay,
I
I
don't have that
canceled it.
connection. Now a Super Nintendo one, I could
I'd be all
possibly
over
get
that.
into that.
I'd be
Um,
all over that.
I mean, if it's still the same thing, I mean, maybe I guess
Yeah, but
I'd
I
be
love the
more
Super
interested in Super
Nintendo.
Nintendo. Now, if it was like a 64 one, I think then I would be all in. Like Super Nintendo, I think I would get eventually, but 64, I'd be like day one. Um, I wanted NES Remix. That's why I loved NES Remix is it took these old games that, like that have been played and sold and bought and regurgitated over and it made them feel new.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. I wanted like do it again, like get wacky with it.
Yeah, this doesn't do that.
This isn't that at all. And they couldn't even include it as a mode. They couldn't even have like a remix mode. I would have done it then. This is literally like, do you want to play Zelda 2? It's like, no, I don't. Like that's why I'm not playing it now. I
Yeah.
really don't want to do that. And I don't want to play Super Mario 3 in 30-second bits, you know. And I'm sure it's better than I'm thinking it is, but like in the commercial, it was like jump on the mushroom as fast as you can. You did it in like 8 seconds, you're on to the next one. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I don't want to do this.
I would
I
rather watch people on the screen compete to do this and get a trophy at the end and have, like, a Switch 2 announcement
It
somewhere in the
would be
middle.
nice, like, even if you didn't wanna go, like, full zany NES remix with it, it would have been nice if they had taken, like, these NES franchises and made, like, new challenging levels, like, out of the assets and, like, have you race through that, like, just doing a little 15-second, run and jump. I don't know, like, I want more than that,
Yeah.
It's like, complete this dungeon as fast as you can, like, give me a little bit more than, like, jump the gap as fast as you can sort of thing is more of
Jesus.
like with Excitebike, it's like, let's do a race. Let's do the whole thing. Not, I don't know what they're gonna do, but then like in the commercial, it looks like everything's very bite-sized, so it's not gonna be like a whole race. It's like a jump the furthest or maybe like one lap or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and, like, I'm gonna be honest, like, do I care about Excitebike? Do I care about Kid Icarus? Do I care about, Super Mario Bros. 2?
You don't even play Wonder.
I don't even play.
Yeah. It's funny as I say all this, and to me, as I'm saying it, everything I'm saying makes perfect sense. I felt like when this trailer came out, I was like, dude, Shaq are gonna hate me, because I do feel like this is where I rub up against like the Nintendo community the hardest. Is the Nintendo community, they love this shit, like I'm sure every Nintendo podcast is talking about how amazing and great NES championships thing is going to be. And here we are like, I guess. I don't want to ice climbers like any ever.
I love it so much when people on Twitter who don't know me, like just random people who don't follow me or whatever, like call me a Nintendo shill or whatever because I have a
Yeah.
Nintendo podcast. And it's like, if you listen to any week of our podcast, you would see how much we shit all over what Nintendo does.
100%. Yeah, this is like heel Donnie is squarely comes out when we go way back to the well of NES and try to do more stuff. It's like, okay, guys, it's just we've done this for it's like 40 or 50 years. Like let's move it forward a little bit. Can we turn the channel? Like just scroll forward, scroll up.
Yeah, yeah.
I would jump all over an N64 one of these with that controller and stuff. It'd be super fun.
I would jump all over a Super Nintendo one. So guys, tag me. I told people to tag me in the special edition for this, but I just canceled it. So tag me in the Super Nintendo one. All right.
And
If
yeah,
they
we've
don't
got some folks
announce an
that are
event,
split here.
then I don't care. Yeah, I'm happy for the people that because like
Me
some
too. Me too.
people's NES is my
Yes.
SNES, and I appreciate that.
Yep. Yep. I do
I
too.
get that. I get it.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yep. Just don't expect me to join in the fun with you.
Yeah.
Allow me to also respectfully hate on it from afar.
Same.
Nintendo, we will make the announcement about the successor to the Nintendo Switch within this fiscal year. It will have been over 9 years since we announced the existence of Nintendo Switch back in March 2015. We'll be holding a Nintendo Rec this June regarding the Nintendo Switch software lineup in the latter half of 2024, but please be aware that there'll be no mention of the Switch successor during that presentation.
This was a good tweet. Have they ever announced a console's existence like this before?
Yeah. Yeah. This is how the NX kind of got like they didn't do it like with well, I guess they didn't do it here either. They didn't call it a name. The NX during the Wii U, like when the Wii was kind of tailing off and was terrible, they released like a press release. It was like on official letterhead. It was just like we are in development of the NX console, and like that was
I
it.
literally don't remember that.
Yeah, yeah. And I want to say I think they did the same thing, and I might be confusing the two events together. I think they did something similar with the 3DS. And actually the 3DS might have been the press release, and the NX might have been on the investor call. If I think maybe that's how it went. I can't. They all kind of run together so many years later, but yeah, they've done stuff like this before.
Everybody likes how they start the tweet with "This is" and then their name. Like we had "This
Yeah.
is Miyamoto."
This is Miyamoto.
This
is Furukawa. I love it. That's why I did this is Nintendo Shack.
Yeah. This is
It's very funny.
Go ahead, keep going.
In the call, the press referred to the console as Switch Next Model. Got a question, and somebody asked him, like, I think they were trying to get a pry of like what the system might be called or something, and he was like, "You should refer to it as the Switch Next Model." The
NX, Switch Next Model, the NX.
Yeah, that's good. He also confirmed that June Direct, right? We will have that June Direct, which is to be expected, but also like you never know. You never know. Like maybe they could do it. They could do it in July or like. So we know that we are getting Direct in June. We know that they're having a presentation dedicated to the Switch. So we know they must have some stuff to announce for Switch. We've been on this. Are they going to put games on Switch? Are they going to save them for the new? Like they've got something that they want to tell us about.
Yet they held this Nintendo World Championship, and it is not in the Direct. They announced it beforehand.
Yep.
Which I feel like could have easily have been a Direct announcement. That's odd. That's very odd to me.
Maybe they think I could see that them being like, this is just a one-off. Let's not put it in the Direct. It's old game. It's NES games. I could see that. It is their financials week, which is why they're doing all these investor calls and everything, which is why they're getting pressure to talk about the new system. So we do have updated financials. Their current target for this fiscal year for the Nintendo Switch is 13.5 million units of hardware.
Wow.
They've got something that they think they're going to sell.
That's gotta that's a lot.
And that is down.
Knowing that another console is coming next year.
True. That is down. They've lowered their target from last year. But have you seen the recent sales reports are showing the Nintendo Switch down as much as 30% across multiple markets? So
yeah,
I think a lot of people see this and they go, and I think rightfully so, this is probably what Nintendo wants people to think is, wow, they must have some games because they want to sell 13 million units. Part of me just wants to say, so it's said, they could also just miss the target. They could be like, we want to sell 13 million, but we sold 6, and now here's a new system. So
yeah.
Switch total sales are now at 141 million units of systems.
Wow.
Right there. So if they hit that 13 million target, they're right there in DS territory. It
Yeah.
could be the biggest selling console of Nintendo's entire history, which is amazing considering where we were when this damn thing launched.
Yeah.
Mario Wonder has sold 13.5 million units.
That's a
So
lot
that's
for less
pretty
than a
good.
year.
Pikmin 4 sold 3.5 million.
Very, very, very happy for that.
Yeah, that's really good. Mario RPG right behind at 3.3 million units. The return on that investment must be massive.
Yeah.
You know, we keep talking about the development costs, how everything costs so much and it's hard to make money. Like the return on releasing Super Mario RPG, that update, what they did to that, and just release it. They make 3 million copies sold. That's got to be huge. Princess Peach did 1.2 million, and Mario versus Donkey Kong did 1.1 million. So even Mario versus Donkey Kong went over a million units
Yeah,
sold.
because anything with like a Mario character on the cover is gonna hit 1 million.
That's kind of where my head was when we were talking about Banjo. Like I was surprised, and you're like, Banjo can't get. I was like, can't get 1 million? Can't do Mario versus Donkey Kong numbers? You
No.
don't think so? Yeah,
No.
I'm not in the sales history of
I'm not
Banjo, but
mad
I
at
don't know.
Mario doing well.
What a great comment.
Oh, jeez.
So before we move on, let's just talk about everything. So we know they're going to talk about the new Switch at least by the end of the fiscal year. I think it will be sooner than that. Do you?
That by the end of this year, well, by March 2025, we could
So
theoretically not hear about it until March 31st of next year.
you're right. Do you believe that?
No.
I don't either. I think they're going to talk about it sooner than that. I think
Yeah.
what they're doing is they're biding time. They want to get through the direct. They want to get into the fall. I think at some point this fall they'll talk about the new system.
It's, like, just still weird to me, though, like, I don't know, from a business perspective, like, you never want to announce something is coming out after Christmas when you have products on the shelf right now.
I know you've been on that, and I think that's sound. But I also think if you want to sell things this fall, like games and stuff, I think telling people, like, coming out and being like, everything you buy will work on the new, like, I think there's some of that to be
Yeah,
done
the
too.
backwards compatibility, that might be their approach to it because,
Like, if
like,
they just go completely radio silent on the system,
I don't think they would have said something right now if it was gonna wait until January to talk about it. Like,
hmm,
this feels like it would be way too early. Like, I think we will probably hear something around September.
yeah, I think by the end of the year, I think they're gonna tease or reveal, like, at least we're gonna have some idea of what the system is. I think by the end of the year, because I think they're gonna want to talk about backwards compatibility, and maybe they just talk about that, but I think it's gonna be important for them to let people know that it's safe to buy these games and products this fall. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what they have. Let's say there's a Pokemon game, and like there will be people to be somewhat hesitant. They'll be like, "Well, do I just wait for the next thing?" You know, that works both ways, and it is a slippery slope. You're right. If you do announce too much, you get too like you could sabotage this quarter sales as well. Um, but I'm
So they said that that Pokemon Legends ZA is coming in 2025.
okay. So that could be a launch game then. It could
So
just
that's
be
not gonna be this year.
we'll have to see what it is, what the games are.
Yeah.
But I think at some point they want to rest assure people. I think the reason they talked about it now is investors. I think if they didn't acknowledge the new system now, their share price could dip a bit.
Dare I say that ooh, this is dangerous to speak into the realm of possibility. Dare I say we see Metroid Prime 4 this fall? Because
Could be.
it's been on in development for the Switch, depending on how hard it would be, depending on, like, whatever the hardware looks like for the next console, like
I think it'd be a good one to put out last because the sales numbers for it aren't going to be, they're not, the expectation isn't going to be super big to begin with. Right? They're not expecting to sell 15 million units of Metroid
no.
Prime 4.
But,
So like
like,
you give
it's
it
been in
its
development for so long, like, it better have a good return.
well, you're right, but it is
Yeah.
They like this is kind of like the Samus Returns window too. It's like you
Yeah.
kind of put it out there towards the end, you give it its own room, and you really market the hell out of it, and you make that like your big thing.
Maybe I
And
will put my foot down and say that's my big prediction.
that's a big one. That's you're going out there on a limb. But I could see it. I think Jeff's in that more of that vein too. I think he keeps coming around to the no, they're not going to hold this for Switch 2. They're going to go ahead and release it.
No, okay, so I see Josh the Hyrule Laureate is saying not a chance, they need to release the remasters of Prime 2 and 3
You could do
first.
both.
I'm starting to think they might not, because guess what? They didn't for Pikmin 4
That's true. They released
until
Pikmin and
after
then they
Pikmin 4
came out
was
with it.
out.
Yeah, that's true.
They
That's
had
very true.
Pikmin 1 and then they did Pikmin 4. They
I
could
think the
easily
way that
do
they
Metroid 1 and then Metroid 4.
true. They could do anything here. And that in that regard, I think everything's on the table. I could see the direct being in June, and I could see them dropping Metroid Prime 2 like that day. And then like they could date Prime 3 for like a month from now, and then Prime 4 could come out in October. Like you could do all of those things.
They could also
There's
theoretically just never release 2 and 3.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's all on the table.
they just wanted to
Um,
get people back interested in Metroid Prime with the first one.
but there is a good like a lot of people were thinking Prime 4 would be a showcase for the new system technically, and I think that could be true. But I also think Prime 4 maybe, not super solid that it's going to sell a ton. So you just go ahead and release it and people will buy it and it can still be that. Like you can still talk about upgrades when the new system comes out if you want. I don't know. We'll find out. If it were me, if I ran Nintendo, I would hold it. I would hold it for the new system. Because in my head, the best way to sell Metroid would to pair it with a new console and let it capitalize off of that early adopter enthusiasm. I think more people would buy it then than now, just because it's the new thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think like what's best for the game. What's best for the game is if you could get a damn Metroid on the board for 5-7 million units, that would be what's best for Metroid.
I feel like that's if you have the confidence that people are going to buy the new system just for the sake of the system, because how many millions and millions of people are gonna be like, "I'm not a Metroid fan," and that's their big launch
Sure.
game, so I'm gonna wait to buy the new
Yeah, no, you
console.
need something else too. You're 100 like yeah, that can't be the game. But
I hate that Metroid is
paired
still niche.
paired to like if you have a Mario game and a Metroid, I think a lot of people just buy
We'll
both.
pick up both, yeah.
Yeah, they'll just get both. You'll get the Metroid hardcore. So you're good for like 1,000,002. You're good for 1,000,000 or 2. But if it's launched next to a Mario and those are the two big games, you could probably get another 2 out of it.
Josh Jepson
You
says
know.
that Metroid Prime 3 was a Wii launch title. I did not know that.
Mhm. Yeah, because all the
Okay.
Prime games started on GameCube.
Yeah.
But then the trilogy is where really it took off.
Yeah.
So and that's another thing.
Exciting.
What if they could do that? They could drop 2, they could drop 3, they drop 4, and then for Switch 2, guess what they do?
The
Prime
trilogy
Collection. No,
collection.
1 through 4, all in one bundle. Here's the whole damn collection.
That would have to cost more than 70 because they're gonna sell Metroid Prime for 70.
Sure. I don't it didn't have to. It didn't have to be like day 1, but I just think you could like if you wanted to look at that like that Wii progression, like GameCube, that's what they did. There was Prime and then Prime 2 and then
Yeah.
Prime 3 and then trilogy. So
Yeah.
you could do that right now
Oh.
and then
So wait, are you
collection.
saying Prime 4 on Switch and then all 4 of them in a
Collection on
collection
Switch
on the
2.
Switch too?
Yeah. It's
Oh,
possible.
I'm there. I'm so there. Give it
And
to me.
people might and for a lot of people, you're right, 70, right? But like there's also the case that the first games are like they're shorter games. If you bundle them all together, now that might attract more people to buy Metroid than normal because they think like
You're getting 4
you're
huge
getting more.
games.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're getting more game out of the purchase. So
Yeah.
I could see that. I could see that because Nintendo loves to double dip. I don't think people would be too upset by that double dip. Right. I
No.
think trying to sell people Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or Smash again, people are going to be
No,
furious.
because you would be getting 2 and 3, so
Yeah.
it's not really double
But
dipping.
even
Plus,
if you bought Metroid Prime this fall and they came out with collection next fall, I think a lot of people would just
I
buy
would.
collection. Yeah,
I
and people
would.
would buy it just to have it. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Man, I want that
if
to
you're
happen
thinking
so badly.
like Prime 4, how do you get it to 6 million? That's how. You get 2 or 3 million on Switch, and you get those 2 or 3 million to buy it again on Switch too.
Now I wanna play Metroid Prime on Switch.
I played it this week. It's a fun game. I loved Trilogy. Back on the Wii, I was infatuated with it. I thought it was like the best shooter ever at the time. But yeah, so Direct, maybe it's Metro Prime. We're expecting more things. Like they should have some games. If they're having a Direct just for Switch in this fall,
Yeah.
then it's going to be some games.
Wind
We're
Waker,
going to get
Twilight
some things to
Princess.
buy. I hope so. Like I so badly want that to be the case, but like I don't know about those anymore, but I want them to be there. It feels, I know I've gone back and forth and different. It feels like this would be the only case to hold them. Like it feels so perfectly timed.
Yeah,
You would hold
especially
them
if it's
for now.
backwards compatible with the next
Yeah,
console.
just release them. And like that Fire Emblem remake, like if you can already start to build like a really good Direct. If you have like a Metroid Prime 2 and a Fire Emblem remake and a couple Zelda ports or a Zelda port
Or
and a little
Kirby
Kirby
game.
game, yeah, like you are off to the races. You've got a really nice
You got
fall
that
lineup.
World Championship in July.
Yeah, it's
I feel
nice.
like though people are gonna start like there's how many remakes can you have before people are like, this was a direct full of remakes and remasters? Like
Yeah,
even World Championships is like
yep,
not new content.
exactly. Yeah, that's fair. I also think their Direct will also have third party, second party stuff too. I still expect it. I think there's some games in dev. We're gonna get indies, like a
Pro
Silk Song
Country,
and stuff like yeah,
Silk Song.
stuff
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
Silk. I don't think Silk Song will be announced like with Nintendo first.
No, no, it would be an Xbox first, but I expect it'll be there. If it's
Is there an
coming out, then
Xbox
I
event
expect it'll be
coming
there.
up?
Yeah, they have their E3 Summer Games Fest showcase. It'll be, I mean, it's
Is it gonna?
typically the first one. It's like June 9th or 10th or something like that. I think.
So
I don't
it's
think I'm gonna stream them this year. I was just talking to Sean about this yesterday. I don't know. I'm just maybe I'll change. I'm just not really in the mood. Are you in the
is
mood? Do
it?
you want to stream the conferences?
I never do because I'm usually at work.
Yeah, and I don't feel like I don't want to take off work to do it this year. I don't know.
Maybe I will. We'll see if I don't have work.
Like the Xbox one is on Sunday, so like maybe we could do that one. But like Ubisoft's on Monday. I think I don't want to. I don't know if I want to take off
I
to
don't care
stream
about
the Ubisoft
Ubisoft.
show.
What do I care?
So yeah, listeners, if you want to see us hang, like let us know. Because if you don't, I don't think I'm going to. Because I'm not particularly like in the want to right now. So
If the Nintendo one is when I am not working, I may stream it because I don't have to write anymore.
yeah, I think I would rather, especially for the Nintendo show, whenever they do theirs, we want to podcast that day, right? Like we want to podcast that evening. I'd
Yeah,
rather do that than stream the show.
true.
I'll direct people to your, like, because we're not streamers. I'll direct people towards your channel, and then we'll want to do the podcast that evening.
Yeah.
So that's like the only change of programming that I'm thinking about. But Direct, excited, new Switch model, excited. Like I'm glad that we are, like I said, the cart has left the barn. We are officially on the road to the new system, and as such, we usually get lots of leaks or lots of rumors, and boy, do we have some. So, have you seen any of this?
Yes, but I need it
Okay.
translated into
All
English.
right, I'm going to try my best. So on a Famicom boards, which I picked up from Reddit, which is on Reset Era and has since been written about extensively on Nintendo Life and Eurogamer and everywhere else. Somebody, I'm not even claiming the origin of this, the provenance of this. Somebody has picked up the damn manifest shipment papers for these Switch parts that are going to these manufacturers to put stuff together to start building systems. And from those parts, we can glean a little insight of what this new system might be capable of. And it's pretty detailed. When I say manifest, I mean it. Part numbers, SKU numbers, actual details of individual components. Like we have a really, really good idea of what this system is going to do.
I feel like this is pretty reliable too.
Yeah, it like they just have the spec sheet. They're like, here's what's inside the Switch. Which is kind of crazy to see it leak this way. The Switch will
The
come
only
with,
thing that I have sorry to, cut you off.
go
I
ahead.
feel like the only, like, oddity of it is, like, just the timing of it, like, "Oh, you just so happen to, like, have this right as Nintendo confirms that, like, we're gonna be hearing about
Good
it."
point. I
But
think to that they've been doing this for some time, like years. They've
yeah,
been
yeah, yeah.
after it. So it's like I think this is the first time. And this might be why Nintendo officially acknowledged it because they know that it's probably due to leak soon. If they're gonna go into manufacturing, like they can't keep kicking the can down the road. At some point, the story will take over. If you don't address it, somebody else will. But it looks to be coming. Again, this is all rumors until proven correct, but according to this manifest, it will have 12 gigabytes of RAM. That's LPDDR5X RAM. There'll be two 6 gigabyte sticks of that RAM inside the Switch. That is 3 times as much as the current Switch, which has 4 gigabytes of RAM. Now, remember the 4, it's actually like 3 because the Switch OS takes up 1 gig of that.
Question. Is
Yep.
that what's gonna be responsible for faster loading times?
A part of it. It is a part of the memory bus. Yep. RAM can offload that as well as storage, of which it will have 256 gigabytes of UFS 3.1 storage, flash storage, universal flash storage. And that is where I want to harp on first. But before we do, the flash storage is just slightly slower than what we see in modern consoles like the PlayStation and the Xbox Series. It's just a slightly bit slower than those.
But the fact that it would be on a handheld.
Oh, this is insanely faster than what we have. And that's where the loading times comes in. So when you talk about RAM and storage and and how they play into what we usually refer to as like the memory bus, right? What the Switch currently does is about 25 gigabytes per second. What this Switch will be capable of could be anywhere from 110
Whoa.
to like 150 gigabytes a second.
Whoa.
This is a massive, this is a 5 times increase potentially of memory loaded. So when you hear them talk about at Gamescom 2 years ago, look at how fast Breath of the Wild loads. There's 0 load times. That's how. That's exactly
Mhm.
how you get there is these parts. Now, let me pause here because as I started talking about this in the Discord and in other Discords, something hit me. There's a reason why the Xbox Series S has proprietary memory cards, and there's a reason why the PlayStation you can only use the internal SSD to play games off of, because the games are built off this memory spec to load fast, like this way. Like, and let me break it down in more layman's terms. You can't play a game that was designed to run on an SSD off of a SD card. The memory is not fast enough. So there begs the question, if they're adopting this new style of storage, what does that mean for expandable storage?
Oh,
I don't think anybody's thought of that yet.
yeah.
Can we put an SD card in it? Because I don't think so. Or like,
That could be problematic though.
or you
256 is not that much.
or you could put an SD card in it, but like maybe you can't play all the games off the SD card, or maybe you have to move the game from the SD card to the actual internal. And that just sounds messy in a way that I don't think Nintendo is going to do
Yeah, I
it.
don't think, like, regular people will have any idea what they're doing with that.
And this is the other part, Bland. Thank you. I'm glad you're here, man. You should join the show. He says Steam Deck and ROG Ally use the micro SD card. That's true. And
Where's Bland? We should have him on the show right now. Hop in.
they also have space for SSDs for like expandable SSD memory. And you're right. We could just run it off the SD card and maybe it just isn't as fast as it would if it was running off the internal. I don't know. I just think it's something worth asking. Like in the gleam of the manifest, it's something to think about. Because in my head, the first thing I'm wondering is, could we potentially looking at a Switch 2 that has proprietary storage cards?
What does that mean?
Like the Xbox, it has like its own SSD. It's more expensive, storage cards that you have to
Like,
buy. The
you would have to
Nintendo,
get it from
yeah. And
Nintendo would do that too.
I could see Nintendo doing that, especially if it makes the games better. And there's also like an opportunity to offset the console, like the cost of the console like that. So you could sell the 256 for like, and I'm just throwing out numbers. Let's say the 256 is $399, but they sell a 1 terabyte drive for $199, and a lot of people buy both. So you end up selling the console for more than the sticker price, list, quote unquote. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Now it is ARM, right? It's its own thing. So I'm not sure how much we can comparably, say one is like to like versus the Steam Deck and Ally. But we'll see. But before I get there, I want to put a pin in that. I'll come right back to that in a minute. We've also learned a lot more about the chipset. Now, I'm going to write all the numbers down because I don't understand it, and I'll wait for somebody else to get in there and actually try to verify it. But to the leak of this thing, the chipset will include tensor cores, a decompression model, and ray tracing cores.
Please translate for those who don't speak that language.
The Switch 2 will be capable of doing DLSS. Like, it has tensor cores to do that. So that long rumor sounds true. It'll have ray tracing.
I mean, no, I know ray tracer. What's decompression?
I don't know. I mean, I know, but like I don't fully know to like you can it'll faster.
Garrett is the only one in chat that is like,
Thanks.
yeah, tensor core. Nobody else knows what that is.
Ray tracing and DLSS is the important part.
Okay.
And ray tracing, like I can't imagine we see Nintendo had a video talking about the ray tracing in a Mario game, but maybe they will. I don't know. Maybe we're gonna get like one of these shiny, wet, lightning flashing Zelda trailers we've seen in the past, Rebecca, where they're like, look at the ray tracing, look at Link, look at the threads on the tunic, look at the ray tracing, look at the rays traced off the Master Sword. Look how incredible it is.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. So I say all of that to say this, based on the folks that have leaked it and they looked at it, layman's terms, this looks to sit somewhere between maybe the PS4 and the PS4 Pro, just off of the specs alone, like off the internals, the things it can do. Now, there are some caveats. We don't know what it's going to do in handheld versus docked. We don't know how much DLSS upscaling will play into this, right? Maybe you can run, like, we don't know what the target is. Maybe Nintendo wants to have 1080p docked that upscales to 1440, and maybe they just call that 4K. It could checkerboard, right? Maybe they get to 1600 or 1800. Maybe it's not the full 2160 or whatever. We don't know. We also don't know the important part. The most important part is that those are x86 consoles, the PlayStation, the Xbox, and the PCs, and that this is an ARM-based console. So we don't know exactly. You can't just go because of this chip and this RAM, it's going to be this powerful, because you don't know, because the architecture is different. Additionally, and the most important caveat, is we don't know what Nintendo's doing to downclock or undervolt or save battery constraints with this. We know that the Switches that we currently have are more capable than what they show, because Nintendo has done everything they can to maximize battery life. We don't know what they might be doing to a machine like this to do the same thing. But with all that said, I think I speak for anybody that half understands this. This is a significant leap from the Switch we have. More than I was probably expecting, if I'm being honest.
Will make the wait worthwhile.
Yeah, I think so. I do think so, and it is just because of how old the Switch is. Like, it should feel like a night and day difference between these two Switches. Like, if you're like, it's going to be kind of better, no, it's going to be a lot better. It's going to be significantly better. It's going to be much.
I feel like it has to be for people to want to upgrade.
Yeah, I think so. Like it, and I don't want to immediately get into console wars, but when you see the people talking about it, they're talking about like this will probably punch above the Steam Deck, and it'll compete with Ally, and it'll run modern games because the developers will target those games for the Switch. And with DLSS, like the internals might be at like PS4 level, but with DLSS, it might look somewhat modern. Like it might compete in some games, in some spaces with modern counterparts, and that's impressive. That's very impressive. So, but again, it's all rumors. We'll see when they actually show it to us.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, they've got.
I think we'll get a trailer in September. I think that's when we got the Switch trailer, September, for a March release.
That's about right. Yeah. They'll talk. They got the SKUs for Joy-Cons, Rebecca. Like they know like kind of how big everything is. They've got measurement, magnets. Like based on measurements, people already have like mock-ups of like the size difference of what this might look like versus the other one. Like it's kind of nuts that you just got this damn.
I think I saw that size comparison. It's like a little smaller than the Steam Deck. A little bigger than the Switch. It's like somewhere in between. Yeah.
Yep. So please be excited. This is Furukawa. They're beginning to pound the drums, and it's good stuff. I can't wait for more of this. This is like one of my favorite things about new system is the mystery and the confirmations. We talked about it before. We waxed poetic about the Switch and the fake switches and all the stuff. It's just a fun time to see the news and talk about it and to be a gamer and to share, your enthusiasm for this hobby.
I think the gimmick will be the magnetic Joy-Cons.
Yeah,
Like, that sounds like that could be, like, gimmicky for them, like, they'll lean into, like, how easy that is, how much better that is.
I can see that for sure. I'm interested in seeing. There's a lot of tech here. I don't associate Nintendo with tech, which is why like the memory thing stuck out to me. I was like, I don't think they're gonna like let you take the back off and put in your own SSD and things. Like, I don't think they're gonna do any of that. So I'm interested to see how they. I'm interested to see how they talk about it. If they even talk about it. My belief is they probably won't. I don't think they'll talk about DLSS or ray trace or anything. They'll just show you the game, and they'll try to let the game speak for itself. And we'll have to have like Digital Foundry and other folks tell us like how DLSS is being implemented, right? But I don't think Nintendo wants to get into that arena. I don't think they want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, me
But
neither.
we'll see. We'll see. Some other headlines so we can move into our questions. As of June 10th, it will no longer be possible to post screenshots and videos to Twitter. So if you've been doing
Thanks,
that, if you've
Elon.
connected your accounts and stuff, yeah. In the article I saw, they had mentioned that I think Elon tweeted that he wanted to or something, but Nintendo didn't want to pay for it, I guess.
They made Elon made changes that for the API costs, and it costs, like,
Mm,
an exorbitant amount of money,
yeah, Nintendo's not
for
paying that.
especially for the number of people that would be using it on Nintendo Switch. It would cost them, like, $200,000 a month to keep it going,
They should pay
and
Nintendo for that.
Yeah, but yeah, that's exactly. So they took it off. PlayStation and Xbox dropped their Twitter posting support, and
Yep.
it's definitely that because I saw some people being like, "Oh, well, maybe they're like preparing to transition to the next console." No, because they would have taken the Facebook posting off. They didn't take that off.
Yeah, I think it's probably that now. Maybe they'll move it to Threads or Blue Sky or any of the other.
Nah,
Yeah, probably not.
not for the Switch.
I would like them to move that functionality to the mobile app, and
Maybe
I'm
they will.
I'm I'm hoping with Switch 2, that's kind of a hope, is I hope they don't give up on that app idea. I hope they just come back with a better app. When I take screenshots on my Xbox, I don't have to like scan a QR code and wait to launch and like I literally open up my Xbox and it's the
Yeah.
screenshot's just right there.
Yeah, I like how they do it in the Steam Deck where like you can just screenshot and then like there's the app and, like, you can choose to make it public or you can save it to your phone.
Yeah, I can't imagine Nintendo wants to get into like the cloud storage game, but like I kind of wish they did. It is just kind
Yeah.
of like there are a
Well,
lot of
maybe it
times
could
I
be
just
part of Switch Online, like, you're
yeah,
paying, so they could be cloud storage if you're paying for Switch Online.
be nice. Because I often I'll take pictures of my Switch or of my TV. People are like, you can just share the screen. I'm like, yeah, but it sucks, and I got to do all like it's much easier.
Yeah,
I'll just take the photo myself.
yeah.
Damn. The Nintendo Museum is now complete and will open this fall. Anybody
Yay!
gonna head out there? Classic Link to the Past icons are now available if you're an NSO member and you've played Link to the Past.
Hell yeah! It's like the old style artwork of Link and Zelda and like a Hinox and a fairy and Ganon. It's like the Link to the Past, like
Like
uh
the
guy like
illustrations.
yeah, the illustration from like the manual.
Yeah,
I switched mine to Princess Zelda and it is so cute.
nice, nice. Earthbound is getting a 30th anniversary concert this June. The Japanese show, The Music of Mother, will be a paid stream that can be viewed internationally.
Hell yeah, I'm there. I'm there.
I wonder,
Love
have you looked
Earthbound.
into this at all? Any idea how much it costs or anything?
No, but I don't care.
I'm excited. Like, it is kind of amazing, and it's got to be just attributed to the fan base and fans like you that this series is still remembered and is still having events and is still somewhat a thing, considering that there's been zero support for it at all at any corporate level at
I
all.
know. There's more following for it in Japan. It is very beloved in Japan.
And it's kind of crazy. Like, that
Yeah.
no games, like if you discount, beginnings and stuff like that, there's so little that's been paid to it, and yet it's getting symphonies and concerts and merchandise. And it's like, what the hell? How many other games of theirs have just died and gone away and just sitting in a vault somewhere?
Yep.
It's pretty impressive. And anyway,
I love this
that's
game
the
so
news.
much. Yeah. Good news week.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of good stuff here.
I can't wait to hear more about our next system.
September or October is my guess.
I'm so excited.
Are you ready for questions?
Let's do it.
All right. Jacob wants to know, does the Switch 2 launch year hit the same as 2017? And if it does, could 2025 be the best year of gaming?
No,
2017 was really good.
I think
That launch year.
the idea of them meeting the bar of launching a console, not only with a Zelda game that they don't have right now, like they just released one, they won't have one like that. But not only a Zelda game, but one of the most impactful Zelda game in ever. like, like,
And don't forget Mario Odyssey was that year too. One
yeah,
of
yeah,
a
of
big
course,
3D
yeah.
Mario game.
But like that
Splatoon
alone,
2 was that year.
that one thing alone, I just don't think they can hit that.
Don't forget Splatoon 2.
And I just think that's a high bar to hold them to, and I can't imagine that being the case. Maybe they can. Maybe that Mario game will be that, but I don't think so.
I don't think 2025 will be the best year of gaming considering like that we've had so many really great games in the past decade or great years in the past decade.
It could be. I want to say that. I don't know if it should be like best ever, but could 2025 come and go as like one of the great ones?
I
It
think it'll be
could.
good for
There's
Nintendo.
a lot of stuff in development. A lot of stuff in development. Stuff that's think about it like quickly. So we have Switch launching, we have a new system launching, which means we're gonna get new games. We think it's gonna be a brand new Mario game. Who knows what else, right? So on the Nintendo side, 2025 looks to be pretty great. On the PlayStation side, they've had this whole year where they've had nothing. They've had no games come out. That's just all second party games that they've been buying. So they're cooking. What are they cooking? Like, what could be there from them? Okay, there could be a new Spider-Man game, could be a new Ghost of Tsushima game. Like, PlayStation could be hitting. The eternally delayed Xbox has Fable and Perfect Dark and shit like that. Like, maybe there's a new Doom game and a Gears of War game. You could be looking at third party, Assassin's Creed, Dragon Age, all the other stuff that like is cooking up around this time. Resident Evil should be out there. Like, there are things. 2025 could be pretty great. Whether or not it's better than 2017 or whatnot, that's up for debate. But I think 2025 could be great. It also could all get delayed. Like,
It's hard
we
to say
never
at this
know.
point.
It's hard to say, but I think
But I don't think it'll be
2025.
I don't think it'll be as good of a launch year as 2017 was.
I agree with you. I think just the idea of launching a system like the Switch took over the industry. It took over the zeitgeist. It hit the mainstream. It went casual. Like, Zelda had never sold more than like 10 or 12 million copies at most, and it crushed it. Like, it sold like 30 or 30, like it blew it out of the water. Suddenly a mainstream Zelda game was a Mario Kart game out of nowhere. Like, the idea of expecting them to replicate that, I can't imagine that being the case.
Mhm.
There's a time and place for that, I think, and they hit it then, and it'll still be good. I expect it'll still be great, but
Yeah, I agree. Yarden says, I'm sitting in the theater right now watching Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. First of all, Yarden, why are you texting during a movie?
uh-oh.
Bad. He needs to know. Since apes freak Rebecca out, would watching a Planet of the Apes film be like watching a horror movie to her? I thought that it was a horror movie.
It's not.
Oh. But it's scary.
So the answer to your question, Yarn, is yes.
He said, okay, some lady is very rudely staring at me, so I gotta go.
That's
Bye.
you. That's what I was laughing about when you were like, first of all, Yarden, you shouldn't be texting like, there's the lady.
Yeah. Yeah. Shame on you. Yeah,
Text not hurt
I was
nobody.
under the impression it was supposed to be a scary movie.
No, it's an action movie.
And then why is it so scary? Answer that.
I never found it to be that scary.
They can eat your face, Donnie.
Well, I mean, that's any movie with a monkey then, like, or an ape. They all can do that. Curious George could do that.
Yeah, he
Think
could.
about
You
that
know,
cartoon
the
like that.
man in the yellow raincoat or
Yeah,
whatever his name is, he plays with risking his life every day having a monkey as a pet.
100%.
There's a reason
100%
why
he
you
does.
should not keep wild animals as pets, especially monkeys. Ugh, yellow hat. Okay, whatever. It looks like a raincoat. Canadian Crawler says probably for Rebecca, but as a big kitty little city, very funny. That actually is one of the achievements. There's like a comic book store where there's like a city replica, and you can jump up on it and like
Oh,
that.
you're like
Then all
Reptar,
of
just
the
like,
yeah,
"Roar."
and then
Yeah,
you
that's
get the
cool.
achievement, big kitty little city. Is it worth the price now, or is it more justifiable to pick it up on a better sale? Thanks to the entire Shack crew for always entertaining me every week because I enjoy the group dynamics. Yay, Crawler. Thank you. Oops.
Thanks.
Heart. Yay. Um, I think, Crawler, if you like Untitled Goose Game, it's worth playing. It's worth picking up or play it on Game. Is it on Game Pass? I think it's on
It's
Game
on Game
Pass. Yeah.
Pass. Yep,
So
that's
either
always
play
the
it
easy
there,
answer.
or I think there's like a release week sale even. Like
Nice.
if you like this type of game, don't wait to pick it up. If like you are bothered by short games, if you're bothered by games that don't have like a perfect amount of polish, if you're bothered by like something that doesn't, have like deep story or whatever, like then sure, wait.
Yeah.
Might not be something you want to buy full price. It is cheaper, I hate to say this. It is cheaper on Steam on PC than it is on Switch. So if you don't have Game Pass and you're trying to buy it, like consider your options.
I was going to ask you, I'm not planning on playing this. I didn't like Goose Game, but I wonder if my wife might. And I think about downloading it on the Xbox and just giving her a controller and like
You
letting her try
should.
it
It's
out.
very Does she like kitty cats?
Yeah, and what I was going to ask you is how welcoming is it to like players that don't normally play video games?
I think it pretty much is. There's not really a ton of controls.
Okay.
It is like the camera angles are like kind of weird. Like it's not super duper polished. I don't know if that would frustrate her or not. Like the controls, like there are going to be like weird things that happen, and I don't know what her frustration tolerance is for that kind of
Usually your
thing.
frustration is with controls, especially if they like require you to make them like quickly, and or when she's like lost, she doesn't know what to do.
No, no. There's nothing that like requires any kind of like quick time or precision. Like you have all the time in the world to do everything.
She
Like
might
there's
like it then.
nothing like
Okay.
that.
All
And
right, give it a
like
try.
it's a city, but like it's not huge. And like at least the beginning part of the game, like it makes it feel like you're in this like big city, but like the very beginning part is pretty linear. Like it like guides you to where you're supposed to go based
Perfect.
on like what you're able to do.
Perfect.
Like you very naturally run into the first character that kind of tells you what to do.
She really enjoyed I'm not sure if you've ever played. You ever play Spirit of the North?
No, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, she really liked that one.
Yeah.
So I might download this one and
Yeah.
see if it
Yeah, I think you
takes
should.
to it.
I think she would like it. It's also has very humorous like
Yeah, that's her shit.
dialogue, and it's very punny in a lot of things, and I think she'll find it very cute and fun. Yeah, let me know
Nice.
if she likes it.
Will do.
TPR says some people may or may not know on PSVG this week I wrongly identified the forest temple as the green temple and
He
the
called it
fire
the
temple
green
as
one.
the red temple when I recalled what I played of Ocarina of Time. Wow.
He called it the
TPR,
green one, Rebecca.
I'm gonna bully you for that.
I did. We bullied the shit out of him.
The
I
green
took him off
temple,
the
that's actually
call.
so
We shamed the
funny.
shit out. He was like the green one. You know what I'm talking about. Like, what, the green one? Not the green one. The
The red one. I mean, he's not wrong.
No, he is. No, he is. It's not a
But I'm
Power
still gonna
Ranger.
bully him.
What the fuck?
That's so funny. What's the most exposed you felt remembering a video game? Man, TPR, that's a hella specific question that I think might be unique to you. I'm sure I
My
have an answer though.
Mine was definitely, without fail, because I never looked into it because I don't play Souls games because it's not my thing, but when Elden Ring was coming out, because of, like, this interview and a couple of headlines I had saw, I had this weird belief that it was tied into, Lord of the Rings somehow. It just
What?
wasn't, and I talked about it on a podcast once, and
Elden Ring?
Elden Ring. Yeah,
You definitely got that association because George R. R. Martin
of
worked
course.
on it and he, wrote Game of Thrones.
Here's the thing, when you Google it, because okay, hang on. In the show, Sean was in the chat, Dev, Elaine, they were clowning the shit out of me. And Dev got it. He was like, "This makes total sense because you've never actually looked into the actual game." I'm like, "Yeah, I have no idea." But they were like, "Yeah, Donnie, this has nothing to do with it." But here's the thing, they were wrong because once we got off the show after they made fun of me, of course, I'm going to go pull the research that I had. And there were countless amounts of articles of before, like when the game was announced and before people knew what it was, with a ton of people saying it was something to do with Lord of the Rings, like in the past or the future or whatnot. And so I did find
Okay.
some vindication, but not enough. They were like,
TPR
no,
should, like, do some Googling, find out, "Oh, actually, it's called Green Temple in Japanese."
yeah, like in Zelda 2 in Australia, they call it the green one. Um, but yeah, that was the one for me where I was like just talking some shit and I was just way off. I have no idea what I'm talking about,
I
clearly.
feel like if Garrett is still here, he probably has some kind of, like, something that he can expose me for that I said at some point
Oh,
in time.
a few
Maybe
weeks
you
ago
do.
we were talking about Star Wars on PSVG, and I was talking about how like I'm not that into Star Wars, but I was saying something like I liked Rogue One, but then apparently I just went on to describe the last movie instead, like because I just get them all mixed up in my head. And I was like, well, clearly I don't know anything about Star, and I never claimed to do so. But that was funny in the Discord the next day. People are like, Donnie, this isn't the movie you're thinking you're describing. That's not the right movie at
I'm
all.
sure I have examples like this. I can't think of any, but if anyone in chat remembers and wants to make fun of me, go for it, and I'll read it.
I don't recall any of them from you at all. Nothing
Maybe I'm
comes
just
to
super knowledgeable and, like,
just
a
perfect.
super, like, professional, amazing gamer,
Delvin
and you
though.
can do no wrong.
Delvin though. The green one. Can't believe it.
I love it. Smoke and Joe, do you guys think the Switch 2 will launch with new colored Joy-Cons? Yes, I was thinking about this. Do you remember that really nice dev kit for the Switch with the black Joy-Con? Oh,
I don't.
all of the dev kits had these amazing, like, it was darker than the gray.
Hmm.
I think it's gonna be
Nintendo Switch dev kit.
like a sheer black.
Now you can always go. Ah, I see, said the blind man. I do see that is nice.
Yeah. But I also wonder, I feel like for branding purposes, they might need, like, another color option too, and they've already kinda done all the colors, so, like, I don't really know. Like, the white would have been, like, a really good one to launch with, but they did that for the OLED. Like, I feel
I
like
don't
they
want
need
to
something
switch.
really, like, recognizable
What I
on
want.
the box,
I
you
don't think they're
know?
gonna do it, but what I want is you do color buttons and not Joy Cons.
Ooh.
You know, pull the Super Nintendo, like go Super Switch with it and do colored
Wait, oh my
buttons.
god, that's really good.
Yeah, do that instead of the whole thing. Because I want the unibody look, but just offset it with colored buttons, and now
Dude,
we
the
are
black
cooking with gas.
Joy-Con with, like, the red and blue buttons.
Something like that would be great.
Or, like, look, like this one.
Because that would
Ooh,
be a way
this
to
is
make it
looking
look
really good.
different. You know, that'd be a way to visually make it look different than everything else. But I'm not even
Yeah.
sure. You can also just do that without even calling it Switch 2. Like it is different. It could look exactly the same. You put Switch 2 in the box and this is the new one. It's the
Well, they
different one.
need the box to stick out so that when people see it on the shelf, they don't just think it's, like, just the Switch again.
Yeah.
It needs to
Yeah.
look visually, like, unique.
Yeah.
Like, "What is that?" You know?
Hmm.
"I haven't seen a Switch like that
Do you
before.
think
Oh
they'll
my
pull
gosh,
the
it's the Switch
do you think
2."
they'll pull the old switches?
I don't think they will right away. I think that once they get, like, a handle on the stock of the Switch 2 and, like, the more exclusive games for the Switch 2 that come out,
Do you think they'll do
um
cross-gen games? I don't.
If it's backwards compatible, I don't think they will.
I don't think they will
Maybe
either.
one, maybe
I could see like a
maybe
dual I could
Pokemon
see
ZA
a
will
dual
be.
launch game, but yeah, like after the Switch 2
Yeah,
launches, I don't think they're gonna do that.
yeah.
It's a very not Nintendo thing to do, you know?
Mhm.
PlayStation did it, and I don't think they liked it. I don't think they, like, thought that was a good thing. I think they think they did that on necessity by competition. I don't think they wanted to do it, and I don't think Nintendo will.
Yeah, there's very few examples where they have, like Twilight Princess is the one that I
Josh.
think of. The most
She admitted
embarrassing
she
Rebecca memory was when she admitted in 2024 she hasn't played Mario Wonder.
100%. Yeah,
Okay.
Switch is still selling. I don't know about hotcakes, but it's still selling very well. You know, if they sell 13 million units this year, it's more than the Wii U sold in its
Dude, there were like
lifetime, so
100 people that bought Mario Kart 7,
yeah.
in the past year, like, crazy. Kyle the Pug. How would you guys describe Delvin's life in a JRPG lifestyle? I don't know enough about Delvin's life.
Hmm. I was gonna say, like, Shin Megami Tensei, and that's just the life of Delvin, at least according to him. I think
In what
according to him,
way?
in his own mind, apocalyptic, dark, terrible, constant battle, nobody's happy, you know? According to
Doom and
him,
gloom.
that's his life. Man lives in South Beach, but according to him, that's it, all the time. Um, but I don't know about enough about JRPGs.
I don't know enough about Delvin.
Mm.
Tyler says, "Are you planning on selling your Switch for the Switch 2? I normally trade mine in, but I'm having mixed feelings about selling it. I'm ready to hear Donnie's excitement for Switch
Shaq.
2.
No. No, this is the one I'm not planning on it. I don't
I'm
think so.
very anti-trade consoles in."
I always have. I'm right there with Tyler. Most of the time, I traded my Wii U to get the Switch. I traded my Wii to get the Wii U. Like I do that a lot often, but for the Switch, uh, no, because twofold. I have two models that I want to keep. I've got a bunch of games, and it's gonna be backwards compatible. So like my wife can keep playing Animal Crossing on my Switch while I play the new one, that sort of thing. Jack can take it, but also I have my No More Hero Switch, which is customized, like never getting rid of it. Like it's just an ornament at this point. But my OLED is the Mario OLED, and I don't want to get rid of it either. I know it's just red, but I still like it's the box and the dock and all the. I like that it's the Mario stuff. So no, I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't do
If you
that
had an
either.
if you had like just a basic old regular Switch, I would trade it in if I were you. But if you have like a collector model that you're fond of, or like even a new OLED model that you can pass down or hand off, I would keep them.
Keep a OLED because we don't even know that the new Switch is gonna be an OLED. You might wanna
True.
play Wind Waker on the OLED.
Good point. Also, I can't imagine the trade-in value for Switches is super high right now. What are you gonna get out of it?
Yeah.
$150 or something like that? Just keep it.
I already
But
have my Switch 2 fund.
I would have never traded my Wii U in for the Switch because G-Man. Yeah, you didn't know that? I got the Mario OLED some time ago. Um I would have never traded in my Wii U for the Switch to begin with, but GameStop had like this ridiculous trade-in promotion back when they used to do these sorts of things. I don't think they've really done one since, where they were giving like 50% plus trade-in credit. Like it would, and here's the thing, it was like the day the Switch was announced. So it was like a year ahead of launch where they were doing like 50% trade-in credit. Where I ended up getting, were you listening to the show back then, Rebecca? Like the first days?
I think I came a little bit later.
Okay, because I remember I came to the show and, like, was reading my receipt because I blew my mind. I ended up getting, like, $850 for my Wii U. Like, it was absurd. I was getting $40, $50 for every game. They gave me,
Yeah.
like, $350 for the system and
Wow.
$50 for controllers and $40 for Wiimotes. I was like, "What is happening?" Um, and that's how I got, like, all of my s like, on Switch launch day, I got everything. Everything, every controller, every amiibo, every game. I bought all of it because I was just loaded with damn cash, like
That's
trading credit.
great.
So I don't expect GameStop will do that again. And I think Switches will get pretty cheap here pretty soon. You'll probably start being able to buy used ones for 150, 125.
Probably. Yeah, people
Yeah.
I think are gonna wanna, especially if it has that backwards compat.
Yep. Yep.
If I seem a little distracted, it's because I looked ahead to West 3DP's question, do you know about Katamari on Google? I'm playing Katamari on Google right now. If
Isn't
you
it kind of
type in
mind blowing?
Katamari, you can play with the arrows, and
Like
I'm
it picks up images and
I'm
stuff. Like
picking
it
up all the
grabs it.
images and all the
Yeah.
words, and I'm rolling around, and it's sticking them. Oh my god, it's so funny. I wish you could see my screen right now. It's so funny. Ah! Like,
Oh,
is that
Hyrule
what I've
Nate
never played
says
Katamari.
I wouldn't trade my OG Switch because I modded it with a nice
Mm,
Hylian shield shell and that. And if you have the old ones,
yay.
you can mod them. Like the OGs, you can
You
actually
can't
just
trade it in, but somebody would buy that from you, Hyrule,
100%.
for
Yeah.
probably a lot more than a normal Switch.
Josh says he has every console. Every console I've ever
Mhm.
bought except my PS1 and PS2.
Yeah, I'm anti-trade in your consoles.
Yeah, I think yeah. Generally I probably agree with you. I think I regret trading in more than I don't. Customizing them keeps me from doing it. Like
Yeah.
customizing and modding them keeps me from doing it. I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep it around.
Yep.
That's why I've had my Wii U all these many years, my 3DS. They're not going anywhere.
G-Man writes in, "Hi, Nintendo Shack. Nice to hear from you. What do you think about adding themes, backgrounds, music to the upcoming console? Would like to know if a Miiverse type of media would make a return soon. Do you think it could happen?" I hope so for all of the above.
I would love a reintroduction of Miiverse with a better app and it actually works on your phone. And like what I was talking about earlier, sharing screenshots, doing messages. Like you still can't message your friends like on Nintendo. Like you can't like message anybody to find a party or anything, like a group
Mhm.
together. Like something like that I think would be great. I think it'd be better to move it to a second screen if they could actually make like a decent app. Um
Yeah.
I don't know about making it into so like themes I love, backgrounds I love, music I love. Now remember that those two things those they do come at a cost, right? The size of the OS and how much memory it takes to run off of. I typically am in favor of like keeping them to a minimum. I do want to see a lot of improvements. Like I want the eShop to be improved by far. I do want to see some themes. I think I'm probably indifferent to music. I like eShop music, but like I don't have to have it. It's just like a nice little thing. If it
Yeah.
robs any performance from the eShop at all, cut it. Like
Yeah.
immediately cut it.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
I love my themes on 3DS. I'm obsessed. I have like 20 of
same,
them in rotation. I
same.
have Taylor Swift play at me. I have Splatoon music play at me, background. I have the
Mine does that
Amazing
too.
Digital Circus. It's amazing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so good. I love it. I love themes.
I would love for them to have themes. That would be a really great cheap way, and they could sell them like did on
Mhm.
3DS. I don't even you don't have to give them to me for free. I'll just buy
Yep.
them.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
but I am the same way, and I'm hoping that they do some of that stuff. I'm hoping we do get some nice quality of life. I'm sure we will, but we'll see. I still hope it's light.
Yeah. Um I was not a big Miiverse user on the Wii U, and that was because, like, it felt, like, very slow to me to,
Yeah,
like, get on there and
yeah.
post things, but I think it could be a lot snappier with the Switch, and, like, I could totally see it being, like, a new kinda social media. Hell yeah. No, but I have, like, all the illegal ones, like, I have, like, a
Yeah,
Salmon Run one and stuff,
yeah.
like, it's great.
I'm with you, and that's why I keep coming back to this app idea. I know this has kind of been tried and failed over and over again, like the second screen experience, not just by Nintendo, but by other people too. But here's the thing: the state of social media today, like I totally could use a Nintendo only themed one. Like for yes, for the love of God,
I know.
siphon me off of these other things with these other people, and let me just be here and let me share my Splatoon screenshots safely. There is some part of me that wants to do that. I also think just a general messaging screenshot, sharing system on an app. You could run it on your Switch, you could run it on your phone. Like having something like that in there until you could bake in and message people or squad up or group or something or share something like that would make a lot of sense for Nintendo. And I mean, pie in the sky, Donnie goes way too far with a basic idea. I would love to see them do more. I would love to see them rope in Nintendo Switch Online, like you could bake in games. Like there's a bridge here where you can bridge what they're doing on mobile with what they're doing on console. You put it all kind of together in an app that works off Nintendo Switch Online and connects to your store and your account and stuff. That's awesome. And Miiverse could be a part of that. You could have a little Miiverse like that, and it doesn't have to be what it used to be. It could be much back then they were trying to like make it Twitter. It could be much less than that. It could be like your Steam profile, right? Put
Totally.
Nintendo and and that would be great, perfect. I'd love to use it. Thanks, Nintendo.
I would love if I would love if like the Elon making the Twitter thing hard for them, like it motivated them to go that route for the Switch
That
too.
that would be
Like,
incredible.
thank you, Elon.
Yeah, thanks. Best thing you've ever given the world. Giving us Miiverse back. And it doesn't have to like voice chat because I think that's like the focus of the last ones. They were trying to make us do voice chat on our
Mhm.
phones. Um, by all accounts, did we talk about this? The SKUs in this, there's a microphone built into the Switch,
Oh,
by the way.
yeah, I don't think we talked about it, but I did see
Yeah,
that.
yeah, there is a microphone built in, so maybe they're going to have some sort of voice chat in the system for the first time. Like, really, I guess the Wii U had
Maybe.
it, but not really. It was like a Skype app. Like this I'm assuming if they have a microphone, that's why. Um, which would be interesting. It'll be interesting if they adopt any of these sort of common features. It's kind of crazy that we're 20 years later and they still don't have kind of these things that we had in 2005. But it's
They're
Nintendo.
adding the microphone back so that we can play, Zelda
Nintendo Land.
with true authenticity of screaming into the controller to explode the pole's voice.
Yeah, I was thinking Nintendo Land where you blew on it and to do the Donkey Kong games.
Alright, our last question comes from Nintendo of America. They tweeted, "Today marks 1 year since the launch of The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. What are your favorite memories from exploring the land, skies, and depths of Hyrule?"
It feels like a year. And most oftentimes I'm like, wow, that came up fast. But no, it's like, man, there's a lot have happened since the last time I played Tears of the Kingdom. Like, so yeah, it feels about right for me.
Feels fast.
It does.
The intro blew my mind of, like, walking, like, down into, the crypt
The
with
depths. Yeah.
Zelda. Like, I was not expecting the opening to be like that at all. Um, the final battle, like, I feel like the very beginning and the very, very end are, like, such, like, powerful moments of the game. Like, that final
Sure.
battle was so good. I loved exploring the depths. Like, that was just so cool to me. I love that. The Colgera boss battle with the Dragon Roost theme, amazing, A+.
Yeah.
I had chills. I love this game.
It's interesting. I'm fascinated. You're very specific with your memories. You pick out very like specific slices. When I think of Tears of the Kingdom, like the thing that comes to me, I think are just conceptual, like flying. Like we could
Yeah.
glide, but like having flying, like flying to islands and having flying machines and
Yeah.
just like that, it added so much more of added so much exploration to the world. That I really enjoyed, especially like that whole, the intro, like the floating islands in the sky, and you're trying to like get everything to get off, like their new plateau in the sky kind of thing.
Mhm.
Just the visual difference, I think, is the first thing that
Yeah,
kind of
I
comes to
loved going
mind.
around and, like, seeing, like, what was different in the world. Like, when I went to
Yeah,
Laurelin Village for the first time and it was, like, all, like, burned down and overrun by pirates, I was like, "What?"
yeah.
Yeah.
But it is those epic story moments I definitely think are the difference between the two games. I
Mhm.
think that's probably the thing that I'll remember most. Um, yeah, the depths in the sky, I think more than anything else.
I
Like the
love that
depths,
game
the
so much.
sky, and like the final act. Because the story was way better. like
I
way better.
agree. I
Yeah,
definitely
just
agree.
way better. Which should have been. Like it's a sequel. It should have been. And I was glad that they they picked that up. They're
I
able
feel
to
like
make
it
that
was
good.
just, like, surprise after surprise, like, there was a lot that did not get spoiled for me, like, when I finished all 4 of the dungeons and I'm like, "Okay, like, I'm gonna go to the end game now to beat Ganondorf," and, like, I go to the castle and, like, Zelda's just, like, poofing to different places, and I have to go to, like, fight all of those enemies, and, like, there was more. After I did that, it was like, "Okay, now you gotta go find the secret dungeon in the depths," and then there was, like, that robot thing, like, it was, like, crazy. There was just
I
more and more to do.
I can't not mention how incredibly infatuated I was with like Zelda talk at the time. Like it completely took over my TikTok and
Oh, it
seeing
did?
how people were doing all of these different creations and the machines and the things that they were making and jettisoning off Koroks into the
Korok torture
sky.
devices.
It was amazing. Some of the things like I never built anything remotely close to any of that,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
definitely
What a
enjoyed
cool
seeing the
sandbox for
people that
people.
did. And they made some insane stuff. When you see like people making like these giant like war machines in the sky, like these planes that shoot all these bombs and stuff, and then they set it to like this old American like rock and roll music. They're just going through Hyrule and blowing the shit out of everything.
And
It's
I feel
great.
like that is, like, a recipe for a great game is, like, you are being entertained by it, not just while you're playing it, but by watching content of, like, other people, what they're doing with it.
Yeah, it was definitely
Yeah.
extremely inventive.
You're thinking of the game even when you're not playing it.
Even if I didn't participate in that part of the game, it was extremely inventive. And I did learn. And that's the crazy thing. I did. Like, eventually, I found, like, not, like, big things because I never wanted to like, that's maybe my least favorite part of the game is, like, these building stuff, but I did find people that had, like, little hacks. Like, I talked about, like, that I got to learn how to build, like, the little speeder bike.
Yeah.
Once I had that, I was flying all the time. I was, like, bypassing entire thing. I was like, "Why am I even walking up this thing? I
I
don't have to do
didn't
this."
do the red dungeon, correctly because I just, like, launched myself with rockets to wherever I needed to
Yeah.
go.
There's that kind of they did add a lot of that, like, you could do this you could tackle this in a bunch of different ways fun to it. But it set me off on a weird compulsive thing where I remember just grinding out batteries for, like, 2 weeks. I was like, "I
Mhm.
need as many batteries as possible so I can just fly everywhere. I'm gonna speed this whole thing up a bit." That was a blast. That
And I
was
like
really fun.
the boss battles were, like, really memorable for me, and then, like, that you could find them again in the underground.
Yeah.
So cool.
You remember the
So cool
first,
to me.
like, that first, I don't know, dungeon, I guess? That
The
first, like
wind temple?
the win when you're like
Yeah.
that ascent
Yeah.
felt epic at the time,
Oh
like,
my god, it felt
oh my
forever.
goodness,
Like,
and
we
it
were
felt
going
so
up.
much bigger and grander than anything we'd done
Yeah.
in Breath of the Wild at that time, like, it was significant.
Mhm.
I do wish the dungeons were more, like, I wish the actual dungeon part would have paid that off, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. The
because
boss battle
that
kinda made up for it for me, but, like,
yeah, just to,
yeah,
like,
I agree.
unlocking the doors on the ship, like, man,
That's the low
could you have
point for me.
if you had did that entire ascent to actually get to, like, a
A
flight temple
real
in the sky, you're like,
yeah.
"Oh my god, like, this is insane."
That would have made it, like, a perfect game for me.
Probably, you're
And I
right.
really hope that, like, we go back to, like, a more dungeony kind of dungeon for the next romp in Hyrule.
I'm with you. Yeah, I think I agree. And maybe they can blend all of that stuff together.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it was a great game. I'm eager to replay Breath of the Wild on new system. Like, I want both of these games to get updates and improvements, and I want them to be, like, as good as they can be because they're deserving of such treatment.
Yeah, I think they might. They might.
I hope so. And I hope, we didn't talk about it, but I hope they don't sell them to us separately. Like, I hope we can buy upgrades or, like, they're just upgrades for free or, like, maybe we can buy a patch or something. I don't want them to be like, "Here's Breath of the Wild DX edition and Tears of the Kingdom DX edition," and all that.
Yeah, Nintendo's never really done anything like that before, so it's hard to say. I don't know.
So we have so many, especially if you're backwards compatible, we have so many people that are bringing so many games over. It'd be nice to see them, like, just be able to take advantage
Yeah.
to get patches. And even if you, like even if you want to charge upgrade fees, I'd be okay with that. Like charge the upgrade fee, like unlock the settings, let us unlock the frame rates. Like let's see what the new hardware can do. I think that's the easiest way to show people what new hardware is capable of, is let them see a game that they know.
I don't think I would want to pay more than $10 for like select games.
Yeah. And I imagine that, like, I think most third parties will probably update their back catalog because they're not going to want to keep you playing those games that way, like Wolfenstein and Doom and like the Mario Rabbids games, the Assassin's Creed, like all the Ubisoft stuff. I would expect all of those to get some sort of performance patch. So I'm hoping that they just update everything. I'm hoping that's what they're doing now. Maybe that's why it's taking so long. It'd be nice if they're like, if you buy the thing, everything just works. Like you don't have to think about it. It just is better because you've bought the new system. That would be ideal. So
it would be. Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, we did it. We did it. We answered all the questions. We talked about all the news. This is Nintendo Shack.
I'm excited to hear your Hyrule Warriors escapades coming.
We'll see. We'll see if I even play it right away. I feel like I'm on my animal indie game streak right now. But I do need it for my collection, and I do want to replay it, so we'll see.
Fun times.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right, Shack Koopalings, we will see you next time with hopefully more rumors and updates and cool things to talk about. Peace.
Whenever you're ready.
All right. This is Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening. And I forgot the line already. What?